my show every week is going to really get into business issues or business topics, and I'll have specialists in to talk about a certain topic, whether it's marketing or branding. But today, I wanted to have all you guys in as hosts of your own show, and we just talk, have fun, make this the first show, and talk about how important it is for you to have your show and how you impact the community, what you're doing, and just make it a fun. We're just going to talk and make it a fun show. You know.
Yes. I just want to look. Elite Conversations. I just want to write some of this stuff down. And Chris, your show, Relationships, but what's the name of it?
Real Talk with Chris Richardson.
Yes. Y'all know mine is Renee Allen and Friends Show. Chris, and Glenn.
Yes,
Let
ma'am.
me get you on here.
Oh, I see. I missed your call. Sorry, Chris.
I was trying to figure out, like, seeing the building is like,
Oh, it's kind of tough at night.
yo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I was like, all right, I know it's around here somewhere.
Glenn, what's your last name?
Garnes, Garnes.
And what's the name of your show?
My show is Village Connector Radio.
Yes.
Jackie always got to do something extra.
Hey.
Half face.
I know. Yeah.
Good. So, I have a few questions. I sent out some questions, but really, it's just going to be open-ended.
Oh, you
Talk
sent out
about
some
your
questions?
show.
I did not see the
did you
questions. I'm
question?
sorry about that.
Send out the questions to us?
Yeah.
Today?
No, I'm looking at Renee's. It must have been the 30th,
Oh.
which is Monday.
My
That's on
mind.
you.
Okay.
Too
Yeah, and
organized
then really
for
the
me,
topic
boy.
is, the purpose of your show, who's your show, what's your target, what do you normally advise people
Oh, I
in your
remember
show, your
that.
entrepreneurs, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I want to put this picture
So
out. I want to do
you know,
Facebook
I'll
Live.
just,
What
bring
do
it
you
up.
want to do?
Do you have a thing where I could put Facebook? I just put it like somewhere.
Let me see if I can find another selfie stick. Hold on.
Thank you. Oh, this picture looks
Yeah, it's on
nice.
Facebook and
Well, I only did it for the first time 2 weeks ago when
Did
Cheryl
you?
Wood
'Cause
was on
I'm
my
not
phone.
big on,
Yeah, Cheryl Wood hooked me up.
did she?
Yeah, she set it up. That was the first time I did it. Oh, that's a good picture, y'all. Look.
Oh, wow. Excellent. You got to send me that.
Okay.
That's off the chain.
Tag us.
Okay. Okay. Darrell, I just sent it to you. Chris, are you in here?
We at Facebook?
In
Or
my
your phone?
no, my phone. I don't know.
Should be.
What's your number?
301-440.
This is the best I can do for tonight.
2018.
That's fine. 2018.
18.
Not in this phone, but that's why I'm gonna send it to you. And Glenn, what's your number?
301
776
776 1490. This is not looking damn.
If it's not, don't worry.
Hold on.
1490.
There we go. That's what the issue was.
Real tacky here. You know.
I'm gonna put it
It's
on
kinda cool, Darryl.
Facebook. Thank you, John.
You know,
You
studio.
were most welcome.
welcome.
That's the message.
That's it.
Right there.
Elite Conversations. This is your inaugural show, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Told you this was going to be fun.
Yeah, it is going to be fun.
Okay, so here's what's going to happen. I got to go in the next room, and Nolan, if you can hear me, mute the microphones until you see me come back in the room. I will signal you here that we want the mics to go live, and then when you hear me start the music, you're already recording, so that's okay. Just be prepared to come to Darrell when the music finishes and when the just when the music finishes, so he can introduce the show. Got all that?
Is Glenn one N or two N's?
2 ends, please.
Make sure I don't mess
All right.
anybody up here.
So are the mics muted? You must be, because they can't hear me. Let me just go make sure. 'Cause
And
I-
it's okay.
Yeah, Darrell Spears. I normally put that in there.
Yeah.
EliteConversations.com. EliteConversations.com. EliteConversations.com.
How's everybody doing today? This is Darrell Spears with EliteConversations.com, and we are here for Elite Conversations Unplugged. This is our first night, and we are going to have a great time here in the studio. It's a opportunity for us to come in a way that we haven't come before you before. For those that have followed EliteConversations.com, you know that our mantra is three things. One, to help small business owners obtain knowledge, obtain resources, and to obtain connections. So we are here today to fulfill that in a way that's unique, in a way that will bring more knowledge and information to you. So we're excited to be here on our podcast, as well as on Facebook, and as well as on Periscope. So in the future, you can always share this broadcast on your Periscope through at glengarns.com, or you can always go to Facebook at eliteconversations.com to find us. And we will be here every Thursday from 7 till about 7:45, 8 o'clock. And we're going to bring you some critical information every week. And the goal of the show is, again, to bring that knowledge. So we're going to bring experts into the studio just to share a little bit about what they do. So we're going to focus on that next week. But guess what? This week, we're going to party and celebrate. Just a little bit about EliteConversations.com. I get a lot of people come to me and say, hey, what is Elite Conversation all about? But an elite conversation is not who's in the room. An elite conversation is what's talked about in the room. So when I think about an elite conversation is any conversation that makes you a better person when you leave. You know, an elite conversation is any conversation that gives you more knowledge, more wisdom when you leave. So we want to make sure that everything we do, we are creating an environment where when people leave this studio, or they leave a conference call, or they leave Entrepreneur Night, that they're filled with some knowledge, some wisdom, some resources, and that they've been connected. I am so honored today because this is my first broadcast. And guess what? A lot of people say, hey, how are you doing what you're doing? How are you doing it so fast? I'm going to give you the secret sauce right now. The secret sauce is to put yourself in the midst of those that have the knowledge and the wisdom to guide you, to lead you. And I have a room that's filled with some powerful people tonight, y'all. We got some wisdom, some knowledge, some talent. So I'm the rookie in the room, and I have individuals that's bringing the energy. You know, I'm laid back, but we have energy in the room, and we have, first and foremost, Dr. Renee Allen in the house. Dr. Renee Allen, author, and she is the host of the Renee Allen and Friends show.
Yes, sir, yes.
Excellent. We are so happy to have Renee with us today. Also, I have in the studio is my man, my brother, Chris Richardson. Chris is in the house, author and the host of the Real Talk Show with Chris Richardson. He is a powerful guy, and he has a wealth of knowledge on his show. And last but not least, I have one of my mentors, guy that's really helped me out quite a bit, and the mastermind behind a lot of what I do here at the Village, Mr. Glenn Garns. He is a internet TV star. He is a radio host. He is a videographer. This guy's everything, but he's the host of the Village Connector Radio. So thank you guys for being a part of what I hope will be a long-term show. And I thank you that you have thought of enough of me to just take this opportunity out tonight to travel through the traffic, to deal with all that you've dealt with to be here today. And I just want to thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. So we're just going to talk a little bit about being a host. I want to learn from you guys today just how important it is to make sure that your story or that the people that you're bringing into your show can provide the knowledge and wisdom that can help somebody, because when it comes down to it, that's our goal, is to help somebody to the next level. So I want to start with you, Renee, and just tell us a little bit about your show, about what you do, what's the purpose behind it. Please share with us.
Thank you so much, Darrell. Well, first of all, I know that Glenn and Chris have been around the radio scene a lot longer than I. I'm just celebrating my second year on the end of January, having my own show, because I had co-hosted a few of them. So, okay. But, the Renee Allen and Friends Show is just a platform at first that I just wanted to make for women. Okay. So it started out for about 4 to 6 months as just a women's platform, because I just felt like with Hillary and all the things that were going on that we needed a voice, and so I brought on a lot of powerful women. But as we went on and as we went on with the show, I just opened it up to all platforms, just places, people, things interesting and that would inspire, educate, empower, and really just give you, just like Elite Conversations, something better to better yourself and to feel empowered when you left. So that's what really that we bring to the show.
Excellent, and that's great. And I've seen your show on YouTube. And I'm like, man, I got to pick my energy up after looking at this.
We do say high energy.
It is high energy. She's got her partner there, the young lady, and it's just a really high energy show. So
is that one of those? Is that one of those shows where there's no mics needed?
No mics needed. Absolutely no mics needed. She is fired up, and I love the platform of it, and it's a really great show.
Thank you so much.
And just introducing my man Chris Richardson. He has a very impactful show. Chris Richardson has done a lot in the community, not just with business owners, but across the board in terms of providing insight on marriage. He's a newlywed. I want to talk a little bit about that in the house. And he's had some tremendous guests. So share with us, Chris, a little bit about your show and the purpose of it, and just what you hope that people get from it when they come and hear your show.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's good to be here, and I appreciate the invitation. Listen, the Real Talk with Chris Richardson show is a show that's all about helping empower people to live better, love deeper, and laugh more, really in relationships. So whether you're single, dating, married, whatever your title is, whatever you want to do, it's all about enriching you from the inside out, helping you find information, education, and transformation at the same time. So when you listen to the show, hopefully what the desire is for me, the goal is to bring a platform of information that will challenge you from the inside out. A lot of times we wear the change on the outside, but change starts on the inside. So I'm after your heart. I'm after the things that matter the most, and so that's why we're heart surgeons when it comes to the show. I bring in guests that can focus on real issues to talk about things that really impact us as individuals. So really the show, Darrell, is about why you do what you do. Why do you love the way you love? Why do you act the way you act? It's all about behavior. So when you listen to some of the archive shows, for those who are listening to this show, they can always tune into the Real Talk with Chris Richardson show by going to the website, realtalkwithchrisrichardson.com, and then they can listen to that. So we just did a segment that was last week that was dealing with the title is Your Heart Ready for a Relationship? Is your heart ready for a relationship? So that was an impactful show as well. And this week we're going to go a little harder. And so this we're going to deal with is ideality versus reality. This ain't what I signed up for. Wow. And that's when you say, hey, even when it says I do, becomes more challenging than you thought, or whatever your I do was, whether it's business, whether it's work, any kind of thing on a professional level or personal level. We're going to talk about what happens when perception meets reality, or reality doesn't meet perception.
Absolutely. Great feedback. And I think it's so important to have a place to go to get that type of information. A lot of times we rely on TV or rely on reality shows, and it can just give us such a false sense of what reality is. So, it's good to be able to have a place to go, and you bring in individuals that are living it to talk through it. So I appreciate that. And we want to move over to my man, Mr. Glenn Garnes. Glenn's in the house. And Glenn does a lot at the Village Connector. I'm not even going to try to cover all the things that he has and the outstanding community that he has put together. You see all this technology, and we can provide a lot of services to individuals. But the one thing that I've appreciated more than anything is the people that's connected here. You know, again, I love being the person in the room that knows the least. You know, I can just sit back. You know, guys like yourself, I can just sit back and let you talk, and I can learn from you guys. So, Glenn, share with us a little bit about you, your internet TV show, and just what you have going on here at the Village.
All right, so before I do that, let me congratulate you on getting this started. It is so wonderful to be part of something that's just getting launched that you know is going to be special.
Yes.
And I'm just glad that you came our way at a time when we were able to step in and be your vehicle by which to get your message out to the world, because that's really what I see these technologies being. One other comment. You made a comment earlier about, you know, Elite Conversations not being about who's in the room, but what's being discussed. And that's really important, because we see what people are discussing on Facebook, and you all need to cut that out.
Right. Yeah.
This is the kind of conversation that you ought to be joining in on. And I want to know why these other two wonderful shows that I just heard about aren't on the Village Connector network.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to have an elite conversation about that.
Yes.
But so let me explain real quick what we're doing here, because our mission is so parallel to everyone here in the room, which is why we're here. We, you know, attract like attracts like. Village Connector Community is an internet, television, and radio network that focuses on personal development. So personal development from the perspective of mindset, motivation, wellness, health and wellness, and professional development. We work with people. We are a speakers bureau that has its own internet, television, and radio network. So we work with subject matter experts who are looking to have a voice, who are looking to take their message to the masses and to serve more, and who want to be unfiltered by mainstream media so that we can get our message delivered undiluted or adulterated by someone else's agenda. And so we have a very heavy education focus. Our mission is to literally help people invest in themselves through personal development, and then teach them how to work together with others so that everyone's quality of life evolves by people just understanding how to work together.
Yes.
That's excellent. And just share just a little tidbit of some of the shows that you do have on the Village Connector.
Oh, okay. So the network itself, we have both TV and radio shows. And, you know, this show is obviously a radio show, but you can see it's visual because it's being produced in the radio room. We have, I'll talk first about my radio show because it's kind of the connector of everything else. Village Connector Radio is kind of the voice of the village. I use it to introduce all the other people who are coming our way. When we have new show hosts come in, we introduce them through my show as a way for me to be able to get them connected in the village. We have, oh man, there's so many shows coming our way. I have a hard time remembering them. So we got your show, Elite Conversations. We have a health and exactly.
Yes,
I'm going to keep saying that, right? Because I love hearing that.
That's Renee for the listening audience.
Appreciate it.
Okay, that is not Darrell or Chris doing no woo.
That's not a sound effect either. That's live. That's real. That's real stuff there.
Real deal.
I got a few more for you, too.
So we have a health and wellness show, Live Today Health Talk Radio. That's Tiffany Daniel, Rosa Hodge, and Charlene Browning, who are teaching about nutrition, alternative methods of dealing with illness and things of that nature, natural remedies, all kinds of stuff like that. Very empowering. We have Small Business CEO Radio that's actually co-hosted by me, Sylvia Henderson, and Lorette Farris, where we're talking about business generally, not necessarily business networking and relationship building, but business generally. Oh man, let's see. What else do we have? Results CFO is coming on board.
Oh, I like that name.
It's Demit Anagnos, who's teaching about the numbers behind your business. He's a CFO, outsourced CFO solution. So he's teaching business owners how to understand how to work with the numbers in their business. Real important. I mean, we spend so much time doing what we're doing. We're not paying attention to whether we're making any progress based on what's showing up in the bank account some days. So Demit helps you use the numbers to understand how to evolve your business, and that's going to be a great show. Let me see. I know I'm going to lose some. I know I'm going to forget some people here. You kind of caught me off guard.
Right there. That just goes to show you the impact.
So here's the good news. Here's the good news. If you go to villageconnector.com, www.villageconnector.com, and you click the link for the events calendar, all of the shows are on the events calendar. So I'd encourage you to go there. You can also see all the other events that we host here. We host workshops and seminars. I have a seminar coming up that I'll make a quick announcement about just to show you the kind of things we do here. we have a workshop called Entrepreneur Mastermind it's going to be a boot camp, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 4 hours Saturday, 10 hours each day, Saturday and Sunday. We're going to walk you through everything you need to know to get started in business. And it's going to all be recorded and live streamed to the community for free. And you can obviously, go back and watch the replays of that, because we're going to go through stuff very quickly. But I want to give people the big picture of what it means to be in business, so that they can in turn make decisions about, is that for me or not? So I legitimately cannot remember all the shows that we have right now. Veterans in Transition TV.
Oh, you're talking my business
all right,
now.
so here's the thing. Rodney Miner, he actually has a show where he's highlighting, showcasing, and spotlighting veterans that are making the transition from service to civilian life.
Wow.
He's telling their stories. It's a huge effort on his part, and a wonderful one to edify the people who have served this country. Made it possible for us to be doing what we're doing here.
That's great.
Excellent.
So I can go on and on. Yep. I won't, because we got other things we got to talk about, but we got a lot for you here at Village Connector community, and I encourage you to get on the mailing list, join the Facebook group, like the fan page, get plugged in, get connected.
That's right. Excellent. I appreciate that, Glenn. So I just want to take a little time, and really this will be open up to whoever wants to jump in. Again, I'm always sort of focused in on helping others. And I know there are people out there that are thinking about, man, I would like to do that. I would like to have a radio show, a podcast show, or TV show. And I can tell you now, it's work. It sounds good. We're up here having fun and joking and stuff, but people don't realize the behind-the-scene work that takes place, getting people in line, making sure you understand, their information. Talk a little bit about, and share with those that are watching and listening, what your process was into getting into this arena, and what's the work behind it, so people know what it takes to get to that level, and to make it so that it's going to be effective and useful for those that listen.
Well, for me, I've been in radio and TV through the military. I'm 21-year retired veteran, so hallelujah to Mr. Miner.
Which division?
Navy.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes,
right,
yes. I
excellent.
retired at
Thank you
Naval
for your
Hospital,
service.
Bethesda. Yes, thank you so
Wow.
much. Yeah, let me salute all three of you men here.
That's wonderful.
But how I got into this with WLVS was one of our like-minded friends, Cheryl Wood.
Okay.
And so I was on her show about 3.5 years ago, and the general manager came out and said, you need to have your own show. And that's how we ended up. The girl who you're talking about, she was like, I want to be on it too.
Right.
So then I said, okay, well, that's all, I'll do it. And then about a year or so later, I started my own. But, it's very important in any business, but this in particular, when you talk about fashion and radio and all the things that people are so trying to be a part of, they require so much work. So you just see the end result. Yes. But it takes so much work and due diligence and research and then your wit and common sense, and just it takes so much to be in front of the radio or TV, and it doesn't seem like a lot of people want to share. That's why I really want to give you a lot of kudos. People don't want to share. Cheryl Wood wanted to share.
That's excellent.
Darrell Spears wanted to share. The Village wants to share. Chris, you share. So like-minded people get together, and we, now we can bring people right into the Facebook and different things. You want to come to the Village Connector, you want to come, and so we really just have to continue to help each other. And that sounds easy, it's not, and then the people who aren't, and we just have to, it's not our job to worry about them. We just have to keep moving and keep connecting, as you said, Glenn, and really just be about what we say. Stop talking and start walking.
Right. Excellent.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Because you were in the Navy.
Yes.
And so you're retired Navy then?
Yes.
Okay, so you actually came out the other end unscathed, which is great.
Well, yes.
So I know that we have to get you in touch with Rodney and you've got your own business, so you're perfect to be interviewed on his show. And he was literally just here today producing an episode of it. So I did a voiceover for him on it. But that's one of the reason I asked that is because that's one of the reasons that we pride ourselves in what we're doing here. By connecting people to other people who can enhance their lives as well. So can you want to make the connection to Rodney with?
Oh, yeah, we'll definitely make that connection.
Beautiful.
For sure.
Because I love making the connections, but I don't like to be, I like for other people to have the privilege as well. So.
Exactly.
But that's great. That's great. The only reason I ask that is because I have two sons who just completed basic training for the Marines
Wow.
and the Air Force.
If I had a bell,
That's
I'd
awesome.
be ringing it.
That is awesome.
And it was kind of a heart tug for me. I'm sorry to be dominating here. I tell you, I'm going to be quiet in a minute.
Yeah.
But on October 17, my middle son, Emmett, went into the Marines.
Hoorah.
Yeah, exactly.
Part of the Navy.
And on November 21st, my oldest son, Evan, went in the Air Force. They both completed basic training on the same day, the same graduation day. So
But they went in at different times,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, because-
And the Marine Corps one was how long?
yeah. I actually interviewed Emmett on my show, and he was very clear about how much more difficult it was than anybody else's branch. But here's the point. Here's the point. They both graduated on the same day, and my wife had to fly to Lackland down to San Antonio to see Evan graduate. I drove down to Paris Island to see Emmett graduate. And she was the only one that got a chance to see both of my boys because Emmett got 10 days of leave. Wow. Evan went right from training to next thing.
Yes.
So I haven't seen him yet. But the point is that I'm so proud of the decision that they made to make this move. It's made us, as a military family, gives me a whole new perspective on a lot of different things. So,
How old are your sons?
21 and 19.
Okay, because I went in when I was 17, just fresh out of high school, right? And I went in.
It take you that young?
Yeah, well, my parents had to sign.
Oh,
And being the
okay.
oldest of three of a Jamaican, well, my mom's Cuban, Indian, black, white, my father's Jamaican. There's a lot of hot blood. Over there. So I was like, well, I'm going whether y'all sign or not. So
you
we
might
can
as well
go
sign.
now. We can go into, 9 months when I turn 18, right? So they were wonderful parents. And God rest my father. He just passed Thanksgiving. But
sorry.
let me tell you, my point was, thank you. My point was, the military provides a wonderful opportunity for any child. And for a child, especially an African-American child, to go in there, it's just so much. I mean, I'd love to talk to them. And Chris, right? It's just so much opportunity to finish your degree, to do so many things. And I really I got catapulted into a lot of USO shows and different speaking platforms through the military. So when I came out, I kind of transitioned right in to what I love to do.
That's right.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that's how God works. A lot of times you don't even realize that you're in your trade and you're learning through the whole process, And I think about me and Chris, coming up First Baptist Church of Glenarden, where it's excellent, but all the training and stuff. There's so much you can do out here for free to get the training and the knowledge to move you into where God has you to go. But we are going to come back with Chris, but we're going to have a quick break before we have Chris. But when we come back, Chris, I just want you to share a little bit about, what it takes for you to bring your show together and about some of the individuals that you bring on and what you expect to share with the public. So let's take a quick break, and we will be back in about 45 seconds. Okay, our sponsor today is Remax Supreme, Miss Melanie Gamble. And they are an awesome company. Remax Supreme is in Prince George's County in Maryland. Remax Supreme is a real estate firm franchise headed by owner and broker Melanie Gamble. She has nearly 15 years of proven experience in helping clients sell and buy homes in Maryland and the Washington, D.C. area. In her career to date, she has been recognized as a top producing Remax real estate agent and honored by the inclusion in the Remax Hall of Fame. Providing top-notch personalized customer service and guaranteeing excellence are hallmarks of her work for every client. She loves helping people to own and keep their home. For Melanie, this is not only a business endeavor, but a personal passion and a spirit mission. As a cancer survivor, she is acutely aware of how precious life and time is for all of us. She seeks to help others make the most of what they are given. So we thank Melanie Gamble and Remax for being our sponsor. You can reach Melanie Gamble at 301-343-8533. Again, that's 301-343-8538. I apologize. Let me say that again. 301-343-8538. And that's Remax Supreme with Melanie Gamble.
Good stuff.
All right, we're going to get to the second part of our show, and I want to talk to Chris a little bit because I really love what he does, and I love the fact that he's very particular about who he brings on his show, and he's very particular about the message he's bringing across. And it really helps those that are connected with him. So share a little bit, Chris, about the behind the scenes and the work it takes for you to do what you do.
You make it look easy. You know,
Yeah,
you and
right.
Glenn sitting up here behind. I come in here, Renee, there's padding all over the wall. And I'm like, oh, this real nice here. Okay, that's good. So
Elite.
Elite, right. You know, this is great, though. Again, thanks for the invitation. I appreciate it. And it's good to be up here. This show for me birthed about 3.5 years ago. I'd say I started this journey, you know, and it was a young lady at the time named Melanie Bonita who spoke into my life. Wow. And she had said to me, what is your pain? What is your purpose? And I didn't really know at that time. So that began my journey of writing, and she kind of mentored me at that time. And then that led to, from there to something bigger, which was my aspirations to do radio. So I started with that through blog radio on Blog Talk format. That was something that gave me the flexibility with my schedule to do something with a small outreach, no matter, you know, I always say, whether it's one person who listens to the show on a weekly basis or it's 100 people, it doesn't matter. I'm doing my purpose, you know, and if there's an impact, that's what I'm really after. I'm not after, you know, at one point I was about trying to make money off of it and to leverage that. But then I had to decide, because it was a tussle, is it about ministry or is it about money?
That's right.
And I think, you know, for me at the time, my heart wasn't for chasing money, although I needed to pay my bills. It just, God wasn't just showing me that. And so now it's just really becoming about enriching the community with a message of hope, information, education, transformation that we try to provide on a week-to-week basis. So we've had guests in there from Pastor John Jenkins. We talked about things. I said we talk about matters that matter most to people individually and collectively in relationships. You know, why do you do what you do? We've had Dr. Bill Winston on the show. Upcoming shows we'll have coming up too. I've got some headliners that I'm about to, you know, approach, so I'll leave that nameless. But we're going to be talking about forgiveness real soon coming up too. So
That's huge.
yeah. So there's a couple guests that I've identified that I want to bring in, and we've had Pastor Paul Shepard, who's been on the show. So in terms of pastors, then I'd bring a lot of therapists on the show. I've done a lot of work with a lot of mental health therapists, psychologists in the area of mental health. See, I believe in the African American community, we're plagued by our history a lot of times. And so that means, let me clarify that so that the listeners can really understand what I'm saying, is that sometimes we believe because mama and them didn't do it, that's what we should do. And so we repeat the patterns in the pathology. And so that what they did is what they knew in their generation. So if you want to break the generational cycle, you've got to be willing to do something different. As we all know, the definition of insanity, right? Is doing things over and over and over and really expecting something to change. Well, something has to shift. So that's, for me, this thing birthed out of pain. I went through that process of divorce, and I said, man, I vowed that at that point, if I could be my life mission to really tell the story, God would get the glory, man would be edified, and the devil would be terrified. So I do that from week to week. You know, as I say, we take breaks from here and there, but you know what you do behind the scenes. See, every week when I bring a special guest in, that's time and preparation behind the scene as to what am I going to talk about. So I got to think. I got a job too. I got the job right now. Now that's not the permanent thing. That's just that's just a temporary stop and a layover. Okay, to greater purpose. But I'm thankful for that. Okay. But each time I bring a guest in, I've put together I've got to send out an email that goes out to them in detail, letting them know, you know, this is the introduction of who I am. It has to represent my brands and excellence and execution. Then, in addition to that, I tell them, hey, you can expect that you will get the questions in advance. Because, see, I ask some really heartfelt and deep questions. They're not just, okay, tell me about yourself. No, we talk, you know, Pastor Jenkins, when he came on the show, I ask personal questions. I usually give you an outline of the questions and kind of where I want to go with this, because it has to end. When you come, you have to leave differently. That's the whole goal. And it's not about rah, I feel good. I tell people, you got to be willing to do the work. And so after you hear a guest, that if you feel as though that I've hit an emotional trigger or something that's been said or shared, then maybe it may be an indication for you, a clue, a sign, hey, go out and pursue getting some counseling. There's nothing wrong with it. There's everything wrong if you don't do it, though.
Wow.
So
That's awesome.
that begins behind the scenes, and it's a production, and you got to make sure that everything goes off well for your guests. You want to give them the right hand of fellowship, if you will, to make sure that things are good. But I mean, we can kind of go on and on about that. But I'm just grateful to have an opportunity to do it, and I've had a chance to do some things on a little larger scale. To me, it's really about meeting the commitment, and again, it's not financial. So that's why I do what I do, how I do it.
That's awesome.
So we have a comment online from Mia Reed. I know Melanie is the best.
Okay, cool. All right, shout out.
And now I know why you've got a book, because that's where you really started with her. Did she help you with the book? I knew it.
That is awesome. That's awesome. So one of the things that I do, and those that come and listen to our call on Mondays that we're going to be winding down, we won't be doing it anymore. We used to do Elite Conversation Mondays, but now we're going to be doing Elite Conversations Unplugged Thursdays.
Beautiful.
And one of the things I would normally have my guests do, and I like to hear from each one of you, is that I'll ask you 3 things. It's sort of my countdown. So from each one of you, I want to know, first of all, what is it that drives you? What are the principles and the thing that keep you going every day? Because as entrepreneurs, I'm telling you, there are times where you're just like, let's just close shop. It ain't even working. You need to hustle. So tell me that. Second thing is, what are some resources out there that are helpful to individuals that might want to get into the radio, TV industry, and how can you help them there? And then the last thing, I always like, again, the connection piece. Please share another business or another company that you would like to spotlight to say, hey, this might be a person you want to connect with in business that could help you. So I'm going to go the other way around. I'm going to start with Glenn and then work our way back to Chris.
All right, so you got to remind me of the 3 questions. If you're going to ask 3 questions at a time, you're going to have to remind me of all 3 so that I can be very focused on being responsive as opposed to just talking for the sake of hearing myself talk.
So you know the first one, what drives you? What are the principles?
Okay, so for me, I think it would be accurate to say that what drives me is the ability to share knowledge that allows me to participate in other people's success stories. Mm-hmm. In other words, I want to offer someone an opportunity to shorten their learning curve by riding my coattails on whatever it is I can offer them, so that they don't have to go through all the experiences that I've been through to be able to use that knowledge to move themselves forward. So Village Connector is about helping people invest in their number one asset, themselves.
Wow.
And so when I invest in people who are taking life seriously, I'm affecting their lives and all the lives that they touch. And so that's what drives me, is the ability to know that the little ripple I start with you or you or you is going to have an impact in the lives of other people that I may never meet, but it'll be a positive one.
Excellent, excellent. And share a resource that will be helpful for those that are looking to get into radio industry.
Now you're asking for trouble.
I know what I'm opening the door. The door's open.
Because you know that I can't stop talking about some of the technologies out here. I don't think that there has ever been a more productive, a more meaningful point in time than today when it comes to these technologies that are available. So let me just talk about the technology we are currently using, which is the ability to live stream to an unlimited audience worldwide for free. I mean, you pay for your internet connection. You got to pay for that anyway, but live streaming is probably the most potent platform or the most potent tool right now, because you already have all the tools to do it. Mm-hmm. Your TV or radio show could be done right from your smartphone. Wow. If that's what you wanted to do. Mm-hmm. You could reach a worldwide audience with whatever it is that you're doing. You can build an audience by simply having the people that become part of your network start sharing with the people that are part of their network. So it's the perfect platform to get something started. I started off on Blog Talk Radio when they first came out. I remember when they came out, because we were still podcasting by pre-recording and throwing the audio files up into an aggregator feed to be able to have people be able to download them. And Blog Talk was one of those disruptive technologies that just completely changed everything. It made live streaming not only possible but affordable. And it still does that today. But today we also have live streaming on Periscope, on Busker, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, all of which are free. So if you're worried about how much stuff costs, you just don't get it. Right. There's no reason for you not to be taking advantage of these technologies. So there are other technologies, there are other tools that help to augment what is possible in live streaming, but we're not going to go into all of that tonight. What I would encourage you to do, though, is to, get connected in the village, because with some of the workshops, free workshops and seminars that we teach here, we are going to go deeper into some of these technologies and make sure that people understand how to get their message out. See, I feel that if we spend more time talking with each other instead of talking at each other through the media and through Facebook, we want to have conversations, and that's, Elite Conversations is what it's all about. We want to have conversations and not presentations. And when we are advocating a specific position, politically or otherwise, we're basically, advocate. We're adversaries. Mm-hmm. When we talk with each other, we often find that neither of us had the best solution, but combined we came up with the best solution.
Awesome. And then the last thing, is there a business or company you'd like to spotlight that you do business with that might be helpful to someone else?
Yeah, I'd like to talk, and this is for the parents out there. I'd like to talk with you about an organization called the Learning Community International. It's a private school that has a little bit of a private school / homeschool fusion to it. They call themselves the school without walls. Mm-hmm. What it basically is, it's an opportunity for kids to basically be homeschooled with the support of an academic advisor that guides you through the development and implementation of your curriculum. My son Nolan, who's in the next room running this radio show for us, is a student. He's been there since 8th grade. He's now in his sophomore year of high school. And he's had the ability to tailor his learning experience to what he wanted to learn. Wow. There are certain topics you got to cover, but you get to decide how you want to learn those topics. He took a blacksmithing class, of all things, went away for a weekend and learned blacksmithing. Now, I remember back in high school and middle school, we had shop class. We had metal shop and wood shop.
That's true.
And in metal shop, we made keychains, and in wood shop, we made napkin holders. Everybody did the same thing, okay? He went down to Orangeburg, or somewhere in Virginia. I can't remember exactly what the city was, but he went down there. They taught him how to build the forge, and then he made whatever he felt like making.
Wow.
That's a really unique experience for an 8th grader, so a really unique experience for anybody. But here's the thing about this school. A lot of times the public school systems and the private school systems are very limited in allowing kids to fully explore their talents and their gifts, because you have to move along at the pace that the class is moving. You also have to study what is being told to you to study versus the things that you have an interest in. Okay. And it also limits you very much in a lot of ways to the way you like to learn. The Learning Community International turns all that around and puts you in a position of learning what you need to learn the way you are best equipped to learn it. So their website is tlcischool.org, www.tlcischool.org. Great experience if a parent is looking for something to replace the traditional school system, whether it be private or public school.
Excellent. That's great information, Glenn. I appreciate that. Dr. Allen, Renee Allen, tell us a little bit, what moves you, what gets you singing in the morning, what drives you?
Well, I do believe y'all got me singing today. Look, I met Nolan, your son, a few moments ago. What an outstanding young man.
Thank you.
So I may have to look into that school.
I would encourage you to do it.
Yes. So we'll talk after.
Because he wasn't so good before the school came out.
He's got 2 great brothers to look up to as well.
Indeed.
Wow.
Excellent.
Thank you so much again, Darrell, for this opportunity. This is just awesome. This studio is awesome. Y'all have all got to get down here and check it out. What drives me, I'm the oldest of 3 girls, I'm from Fairfield, Connecticut. Went to a school where there was only 5 African Americans. One was my sister. Wow. So it's a lot of things, we go through that is unbeknownst to others. So what drives me is I've always been, throughout my life, because I guess the green eyes, I don't know what it is, women would try to push me in the corner or want me to be quiet or want me to dull my shine. And until my latter 30s, I really allowed it for some reason. But now what drives me, and has been driving me for about 15 years, is to really inspire women.
Excellent.
Give women a voice, a platform, edify. I think Chris mentioned that word. Edification is so big for me, because when you look at a woman, whether she looks good, looks sad, looks, A-okay, or has rags on, people stereotype too quickly. And when a woman looks like she has it all together, they tend to, that word hate. So what drives me is just to make women and help women to feel important, feel like they have a voice, feel happy to be here, to be able to share her story, and to really see that women need each other instead of insecurities and the clever, shenanigans that go on with women. And what really gets my goat about some women in my circles, a few of us know who they are because we're all in the same circles. They are so about women, but truly they're not. Wow. They're hurting women and creating shenanigans and creating nonsense and creating evil. So my thing is not to worry about them. It's just to really focus on helping women, edify them, and give them some inspiration to do what God put them on this earth to do. And that's really what drives me.
That's powerful. That's
yes,
powerful.
yes.
And we can learn from that as women or men. Believe me.
Yes.
It's just powerful. The power of positivity is just huge. And you can speak life into somebody, every day. You really can. It's so important to have that quality about you. So I really appreciate what you're saying.
Yes.
Can you share, is there a resource or something that you use as a host that will be helpful to those that aspire to be a radio host or podcast, or what are some resources out there that's...
Everyone looks at Oprah, right? Right. I am one of those people as well. But I look at everyone, whether you just today, your new show, or podcast, bloggers, newspaper, anywhere. I take any situation as an opportunity to grow. I really do. And if I saw Oprah in the room and I saw you in the room, I'm going to treat you both the same. I've been in the room with Oprah. What burns me also is when people really downplay others just to get to a celebrity. That's not cool. We're all people. Right. Oprah started in Baltimore. Everyone starts somewhere. I started at WLVS. Everyone has a story, and you have to respect where you come from, respect all outlets of media, and respect the people who are brave enough to be a part of it, like yourself and you guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's excellent. And finally, who would you like to spotlight? Is there a company or business?
There's so many. First of all, we all love Melanie Gamble.
That's right.
That's my girl. Yes. But I would like to spotlight someone who really tried to connect me with you, Darrell, months ago, and I did not take the time to do it with my busy single mom schedule. I was blaming on that, right? And that's Trevor Ott and Shay Brown.
No.
Yes. Trevor Ott.
They get more free promotion.
Look, it's not free because they work, right? It's not, nothing's free. But we met at the National Harbor months ago. Wow. And had a wonderful meeting. And he said, you have to get out to Laurel and meet Darrell. So I have to give him that plug because, look, months later, here we go, right? And it was through someone else. So it's just inevitable. When things are meant to be, they're going to be. So you just have to sit still and let God.
Amen.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. I love that. Great. And you're talking about two power guys.
Yeah. Well, they're members here at Village Connect. Yes. They're part of the Village. They're founding members of the Village. They were one of the first 9 people who ponied up before we even had the space.
That's what I'm talking about.
They
Black
saw the
CEO.
vision. Yeah, that's Trevor, and unapologetically so.
And I want to get my son Chase with your son. He's a little older, but I really do want to get him with because he loves the media. And since your son is just doing so great, maybe he can mentor him.
Well, you're coming along at a good time because we are looking to expand the number of people that are trained on these technologies. I just trained my wife, Nolan, a young lady who I'm mentoring, and a new student who just graduated from Laurel High School.
Wow, okay.
Who are you talking about?
I was thinking about the young lady who was here from Howard the other day.
That's Efena, yeah. But she graduated from Laurel High School. She's at Howard Community College now, and she's actually a student with autism. And she is fearless. She comes in here. God. She's like, I don't want to just sit in here watching you. I want hands on. I was like, well, here you go. Ain't gonna be get out of your way. But so Efena is just amazing. So we're looking to get this, capability trained, get more people trained on the capability of using all the studio assets. We got 2 TV studios, a radio studio. We want them to know it all.
Excellent.
And but going back to Trevor and Che. They are they're truly emblematic of what what's possible with these technologies. They teach and teach and teach and teach. It's not politics. It's not crime. It's not controversy. It's just education.
And genuine.
Yes, genuine. That's right. Practical information. I use the acronym PACT. Practical, actionable content to keep you evolving daily.
Yes, I love it.
And that's exactly what they bring to the table. And that's what we're about here. But Che and Trevor, there's a reason they're members here, and it's because they truly believe in using this platform as a way to evolve people.
Yes, and that's Peak Performance, I believe.
Peak Performance Institute,
yes.
That's right.
And I'm just to end, I just want to make sure I say that I'm with WLVS, the largest online broadcast. And it's right across from Howard University, the HBCU. So I'm proud of that, where my niece Shayna graduated.
Excellent.
So thank you again.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And Chris, tell us a little bit, man, about what gets you going. Every time I see
His
you,
wife.
you fired up. Well, yeah,
Right?
Newlywed.
Newlywed. Yeah. Look, my choices just got even easier now. I can look at her and just let's go. We got to run every day. We wake up. You know what I'm saying? Got to be the lion or the gazelle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't have a choice. So, and now as I get older, I just had my 45th birthday. So, just in December, turned 45 is a big number for me. So I celebrate that. But my days are shorter than they are longer. So I realized that. So it's about really, I was talking to I hired a coach because I'm actually in the plans of right now doing some branding changes. And so the purpose of bringing him on, because he can give me insight that I didn't have. He can see my blind spots. So, bringing the coach on and saying, hey, this is the best time to do this, because I've done some things before on my own. The difference is, one, he was affordable, but not only that, the knowledge and the power that he brings to the table will help me see things from a different angle that I didn't see before. And so I'm branding myself now, focusing strictly on conflict resolution going forward in a corporate workspace.
Okay.
Conflict resolution and emotional intelligence. Those are the two things that I will pilot this year and kick off in my next venture. So what motivates me is the impact that, when I was talking to the coach, that's what he said. It's all about impact. It's not about the dollars. I believe money will come as a result of doing what you are called to do and purpose to do. So if you focus on money, money will always elude you. You will always be chasing the rabbit around the track. But if you focus on the things that you do that you enjoy doing, I wake up every day. I enjoy doing the things of radio. I enjoy writing. I enjoy doing it because it's all about helping the next person move forward. So it's about, when you get there, you reach back and bring somebody else up. Reach one, teach one, help one another. We're all better, and that's what I really try to do. So anytime I touch a mic, anytime I try to write an article, I think, unlike some of the people that are on Facebook, not thinking about what they're really trying to say. And as Glenn said, we're spending a lot of time doing nothing. So why are we spending the time doing it, at all? And just look, stay away from certain things. Don't get caught into the trap. It's fool's gold. And we're chasing that, So,
wow, excellent. And what are some of the resources that you use that you think will be helpful for those that are?
Glenn. I think Glenn and Renee kind of hit it on the head. It's never too late. Let me just encourage somebody that at times too. You say, hey, well, I don't know if I can do that. Don't be a Debbie Downer. Don't talk, down yourself before you get started. Just at some point, you got to get on the track. Usain Bolt started somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, he became the best at what he does because he put the work and the effort and time into it. You see what I'm saying? So he also had some gifts. Work and operate where your gift is. If your gift's not there, don't try to create something that's not out of something. And so don't let somebody's, poison of you become your reality either. So somebody always wants to say, well, you can never do that. Well, you won't if you believe what they just said.
Wow.
So I just say your best resources is your mind. As Glenn said, we woke, when we walked in the door earlier, he was talking about we use your best asset, and that is you.
Excellent. That's awesome. Awesome, man.
I feel like I went back to college tonight.
So is there a business or organization you like to spotlight that might be helpful?
I'm going to give a shout out. You know what, Darrell? I'm glad you said that. I was thinking about that as everybody was sharing. But my man Dave Tinsley I think Dave is a spot-on trainer from Gold's Gym over at the Largo Town Center or Ritchie Road new location now. Okay. Dave is my man. He challenged me today, Glenn. I went in and I wasn't going to work with him. I just went in to just mind my own business, but I said hi. Sometimes when you speak, it gets you in trouble. So I said hi, and I was going to get on a step machine, Darrell. You know what I mean? Right. I was going to do some steps. He said, how many you going to do? I said, well, I guess about 500. He said, how much time? I said, about 10 minutes. He said, no, how about you do 800? 810 minutes. I said, oh, okay, cool. He said, you up for the challenges? Anyway? Yeah, right? You know what I'm saying? I said, yeah, I'm up for the challenges. So ultimately, he put push me. And the push that I needed is like going back to the Marine Corps. You know, your sons would have never graduated had they not even started. So they started and they had the mindset that the Marine Corps broke you down to build you up.
That's right.
So, you know, that's what Dave does. Dave will take somebody and give them the confidence to feel that they can walk on the moon without a flight there. He's just that good.
Wow.
So I'm just shouting out to my man Dave
How
Tinsley.
can you reach Dave?
You know, Dave can be reached if you connect with Gold's Gym, and that's the one in Largo, or the new location at Ritchie Crossing, if that's what it is. Okay. Just go on over there and just say, I want to meet my man Dave Tinsley. And Dave is like 55, but you would never know it. I mean, 55 and does everything. He's not going to tell you to do something he wouldn't do. And when he does it, he's going to do it better than you.
Wow.
He's just that driven. And I'm just like, dude, he's one of those dudes that just like, dude, you're a meta-human.
Wow, well, this has been great. We're going to close out. I'm going to have each one of the guests just real quickly tell individuals what time your show is, where can they find you, how can individuals reach out to you, and then we will close it out until next week. So, Chris, how can we find you?
Yeah, absolutely. Monday nights at 9 o'clock from 9 to 11. Sometimes we just go to 10, but it's just go simply to my website, realtalkwithchrisrichardson.com. It's all spelled out, realtalkwithchrisrichardson.com. Monday night, 9 o'clock, you can tune in. You can find me also on social media by joining in on the Facebook group, and you can connect with me as the Real Talk with Chris Richardson show. That's the private, as Trevor and Che would say, the elusive, exclusive private Facebook group. That's what they say. You know, the Real Talk with Chris Richardson show, or you can find me as author Chris Richardson.
Great looking website too.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Excellent. Renee,
yes,
you're all over the place. What are the few places we can find you?
Well, I am working on rebranding my website.
Okay.
So I will give you the Renee Allen and Friends with an S at gmail.com. You can reach out to me. On Facebook, Renee Allen and Friends Show, and also Renee Allen with the W, Women's State of Women. I have another Facebook page there. And you can also call 301-377-6444 for speaking, coaching, emceeing. And I am on WLVS radio across from Howard University in the district every Wednesday at 7 p.m. till 8 p.m.
Nice.
Yes, and it's www.listenvisionlive.com, although Glenn's trying to get me over here now.
Hey, listen. There's nothing wrong with syndicating. We can work this out with WLVS.
All right. Yes.
Awesome. Well, we know where to find you, Glenn, but tell us anyway. And
Just
those that
real
are
quick,
watching.
I recommend that people get connected in our Facebook group at Village Connector Community. We have a Facebook fan page and a group that's both called Village Connector Community. So like the page, join the group, and that'll get you connected to everything else that I or people within the village are doing. The other thing that I recommend is for people to go to the website at villageconnector.com, scroll to the bottom of the page, and join the mailing list. We send out a newsletter weekly that gets you connected to all the most important parts of the website, all the most recent TV and radio shows, and of course, the community calendar, which gives you an opportunity to never miss anything that's going on in the village. And so my radio show, Village Connector Radio, we kind of are producing that on a variable basis, which is why it's important to be connected, because I'll send out an announcement. I decide I might do a show tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. I don't know. But you don't want to miss it if I do it. So we're the voice of the village, Village Connector Radio, and the whole idea is for us to keep connecting you to the resources that we come across and that you should know about.
Excellent. And this is Darrell Spears, your host. I am the success strategist and business coach. And you can find us on eliteconversations.com. Just go to Elite Conversations, as well as our Facebook page. You can go to eliteconversations.com. So this has been a wonderful launch. I feel like you guys have propelled me, and I'm ready to move on. This has been an excellent opportunity. So you that have checked us out tonight, don't come back next week, but we really want to say we appreciate you for taking out your time this evening. And always remember that it is so important to put God first. Every day is a good day if you do it God's way. And remember, He is the smartest one in the room. So thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
EliteConversations.com. EliteConversations.com.